Okay, we're now ready to do our flat shots. Okay, so for this project, we're going to have a front view and a section view. Okay, so let's go to World Coordinate System, and then we're going to go to the front view. Now, if you drew it the same orientation I did, you should be looking at the back of the part and straight in on the hole that's in the back, the hole in the back. If you didn't, that's fine. You would do your shot from the opposite angle. But the goal is to try to have a limited number of hidden lines, and in the example, that feature is a hidden line. We want to do a better job. So, okay, I'm using plan to go back to the view I was in. All right, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and switch back to wireframe, and we're going to type flat shot. Okay, and again, insert as a new block. We're going to leave all that at default. We're going to change the color to by layer. Continuous is fine on foreground lines. Obscured lines, we're going to show them. We probably won't really have any. If we do, there'll be a very limited number of them. But we're also going to do that one by layer, and we're going to change it to a hidden line. And let's create our shot. And our shot should be like so. We're going to go 1, 1, and 0. Okay, so you can see that the lines don't connect here. So if we're going to leave it like that, that's because tangential edges is turned off. So our other option would be to redo that flat shot, which I'll do one more time so you can see it. And we would select this box here. It says include tangential edges. And you go OK, and I'll place it next to it so you can see the difference. Okay, so it pretty much looks just like this view here because it's picking up the edges of every feature. This is more detailed, but representatively, we have a few things here that are going to show up as hidden lines, like this tangent edge here. This other circle is the tangency point of the hub on the opposite side of the part. So somewhat preference. Some companies prefer to have all their drawings one way or the other. For simplicity, we're going to go with this one. I just wanted you to see the option of display it. This would be a correct display. It's more busy. So if we're going to go with this display, we're going to want to connect these webs here because there is an edge there. It's just not picking up on a hard square edge. So after we do our explode, you would connect those arcs in there to give it an edge, to reference that there's a change in surface there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this view here. And I'm actually going to move this one farther away. I put it too close to our model. So let's stick it up there. Okay, next we're going to go and change our view to the right side, and we're going to make our section view. Now the method we're going to use is going to make this section as if the cutting plane went straight down the middle, and then we're going to modify it to make it look like it's aligned with this edge with the other spoke. Now by default it's going to hatch in the spokes, and we're going to need to modify that as well. And that's for clarifying the section view so that we have clarity on what we're sectioning, what we're trying to describe in that view. What we're trying to describe in that view is the geometry that makes up the side profile of the hub and what the cross section of the hand wheel appears like. Okay, so we're going to go to World Coordinate System, and we're going to use the section plane tool. We're going to select the orthographic option, and we're going to select the right hand side view as our plane. Okay, so here we are, we've got our section plane, and we're going to select on the section plane, and you're going to right click on this grip that shows up. If this grip isn't showing up when you select it, double check that you're in the wireframe mode. I notice in some modes this won't appear. Okay, right click on it and you should have a large menu that shows up. If you see a short menu, you clicked with the wrong mouse button. Okay, so now we're going to go to generate section, and it's going to be 2D, 3D block. We're going to keep all these defaults. If you can't see all of this, make sure it's expanded with this arrow here. We'll go to section settings. Okay, we're going to start with the intersect boundary. We need to change the layer to profile and visible lines. And our intersection fill, under face hatch, we're going to select hatch pattern. Then we select pattern. And then we select ANSI in the top left corner. We're going to select ANSI 31, which should be cast iron, is the pattern for a generic. And we'll hit OK and OK. Now we're going to go to the hatch scale. And this drawing is in metric. And so the unit is 1, but 1 inch. So I believe we need to put in 25.4 here. And then we're going to go to hatch color. It's going to be by layer. We're going to scroll down to background lines, and we want show to say yes, but we want hidden lines to say no. And then under cutaway geometry, we want to say show no, and we want hidden lines no. Under curve tangency lines, we're going to select no. And then we'll hit OK. And then we'll select create. And we're going to hit, we can just select away from your part. And then we're going to hit enter to accept 1, 1, and 0. And we should have a start of a section view that we want. Okay, so this output is as if we sectioned this entire thing and cut it in half. But what our end result is, we want actually an aligned section, so it's going through here. So after, we will do this in the drawing side, but after we explode this, get this position, we'll explode it. And what we'll end up doing is removing the hatch lines in between, because this is a spoke. We can elect not to have the hatch lines section through it. We'll delete these two lines, and we'll mirror this section over, and then that will create it as if it was an aligned section view. Okay, I just realized I made a mistake. I'm not going to do it over. But we're supposed to freeze the model layer so you don't see it. And I created all this geometry in the model layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this stuff. So So we're going to move our two flat shots. We're going to move those to the profile visible lines layer. Okay. Which we should have been working in all this time. But I forgot to switch. So it's quickest to move that stuff now. And then this cutting plane line, I'm going to throw that on another layer. It's currently in the model layer. But when we go to take that and show our pictorial view of this, it'll show up in there. So let's select it, go home, and I'm going to put that on my construction layer. And that'll give us the option to make that invisible. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so we're at step 21 and we're going to freeze our model layer and change our layer to profile visible and freeze the model layer so it isn't messed with right now while we're doing work in the layout. So this project, I'm going to put it on B-size paper instead of C like the last one. So we're going to go to the multi-view B layout. Okay, so we're going to need to do some reconfiguration of the viewports. We want one large viewport here, another one in the middle, and another one on the right so that we can create our wheels. You know, I have our main front view here, and then a right view. So basically we need 3 viewports. Okay, so if we select on one of the viewports by itself, we should be able to change its size. Down, and make sure you only have one selected when you do that. And if you select it on its outside edge, you can drag it up. Okay, so we have a viewport that takes up most of this space here. Now I'm going to drag this guy to the left. I think I am. And we'll see if I can do this. Got to kind of rearrange these. So you click once on the corner, click where you want it to go. So this viewport is going to go from here to somewhere down. Let's put it above where our parts list is. And just so we don't have anything interfering with our revision block, we could just put that port right where we want the view to be. Okay, hopefully there's enough room in each of those viewports for our views. Alright, so now we're going to change this one, and we want it to be the front view, and that's going to be the right, and that'll be our isometric. Good. Okay, so now we're going to double click inside our viewport, and we're going to type zoom, and we're going to do extents. And then on this view, we're going to type zoom, extents. And actually we have to set this for top view. Our section view ended up being in the top view as well. It ended up being in the top view instead of the front view. Okay, and then this one's blank right now because we have our model frozen. So, as we have, we're now going to be centering our views. So we've now made it to step number 25, where we're centering our orthographic views. So okay, so I've got that roughly centered. I'm going to go over this view again. I think I accidentally panned it out of view, but we want to roughly align those two views. And then we want to set our scale. Now remember, these are metric. Let's try 1 to 2. So we'll still go down to a custom scale. And we're going to add, and we're going to do 1 to 2 mm. Which would be half a page unit to 25.4. Okay. Okay. And I'll change my side view to 1/2. And whoop, I didn't want 1/2. I wanted 1/2 in metric. And there we go. That's pretty good size. So we'll go with that. Oh, that should give us plenty of room for all our dimensions. You could go a little bit larger than that. I think there's a 3 to 4 scale, but I like to have lots of room, especially on a first revision drawing that might get modified a lot. Okay, so now we've done step 26. We've created custom scales in 26A. And then we're going to position the front view. Yeah, it looks pretty well centered. We don't want it exactly centered because we want it actually really centered between here and here. So let's lower it just a tad. That way this view is also centered in the space. Okay. And now we're going to do an MV setup. And we're going to do an align. And we're going to do a horizontal alignment. And it's asking for a base point. So I'm going to turn on my object snap for center and midpoints. And in our parent front view, it's going to be the center. And then it's asking where to select in the view to be panned. And it's going to be the middle. Okay, so they're now aligned. I've got a lot of space between these, so I think I'm going to move this view over. I'm going to move the wheel over, and I may have to do that realignment again. Okay, so as long as ortho's on, you can move it over, as long as you don't interfere with any other object snaps. And that's a pretty good spacing, so we should be able to have room for dimensions. It's centered within the drawing space. We've got room off the sides. Now we've scaled those, double check your scales the same, and then lock your viewport down on both of those. And we're going to do PLST scale, PSLT scale, and we're going to set that as a value of 1. Now we're going to type in LTS, We're going to put in a scale factor of 0.5.